Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Chop Talk. I am your co-host, Andre C. Right here to my left and real on my life, and then right in the screen, it's Melball. How you doing, Melball?
I'm somewhere over here. I'm doing okay, man. We just took in an interesting show yesterday here in Edmonton. Looking forward to talking about it. I just want to say I forgot how cool our intro was and how fun that music was.
I love that because we Chop Talk is a very we don't do it a lot, this show a lot, and I love that music. I'll say the start of music though, it's a banger, but this one is just like it's a groove, man. It's just a nice groove for Chop Talk. But yes, we are here on Chop Talk. We are going to be breaking down the Top Talent Pro Wrestling show from Midway YEG on December 22nd, 2022. We get to see it right here live in Edmonton. I had a great time. I missed the first match and a half because I had my shoot job to work at, and money. Can't give up money for wrestling, but we got there and I got to watch some great wrestling. Show featured, I'm gonna bring up the screen so you can see at least the title card. We had Channing Decker from Greektown Wrestling out of Ontario. You have Mash Slamovich from Impact Wrestling, and you have the Impact World Champion, Josh freaking Alexander, baby. And then also Vinny Marci. I can't remember his last name right now.
Mazzaro.
Vinny Mazzaro also was on this card too, also featuring Top Talent Wrestling's Harlon Abbott and the Top Talent Wrestling champion, Ava Lawless. But yeah, are you ready to get into this one, Mel?
Let's get into it because I was there for the first match and a half.
So the first match of the evening was Vinny Mazzaro taking on the Omen Gabriel Lestat. I'm gonna let Mel give us this one because I didn't get there until halfway through the next match. So
this match was an opener. Vinny Mazzaro came out to some really fun music. He came out to that Amore song, had the whole crowd going, really had them over really quick. Very interesting guy, very interactive with the crowd. There was a woman on the stage behind us, or who he was just beaking off to her the whole time. It was hilarious. But we're used to that in Edmonton. Our ladies here, we're feisty. We don't like to be held down. So this is the Omen's first match back in Edmonton since his excursion there to Mexico, where he had a few opportunities there that you can catch on. I think it's Lucha.
I think it's Lucha.
I'll put the link in the description box below if I remember. But yeah, he came back from a couple opportunities down there. I gotta say that Vinny was a very, very fun person in this match for me. I did feel he was a lot more playful, very, very, again, as I said, interactive with the crowd. There was a number of fun spots that these guys did. Very, very lucha-inspired match from the Omen's kind of background, but I did feel there was a little bit more of a strong style kind of vibe that I was getting with Vinny that I really, really enjoyed. They did take it to the outside a couple of times. Very, very fun to see them kind of flopping around there into the walls and stuff like that. The crowd loved it because it's getting the wrestlers close to them, right? And this was an all-ages show. There were all the kids sitting around. It was a fun family show. But yeah, the Omen ending up picking up a win over Vinny Mazzaro after a Destino. This one, like I said, it was an opener. It wasn't like fantastical to me, but it wasn't bad by any means either. It was an opener.
Yeah, there we go. It's all you can say is it's an opener. It gets on. It doesn't disappoint. We're good. So we move on to the next match of the evening, and it's a tag team gauntlet match. And from this card, Azrael and Colton Kelly were not able to compete in this match. So I didn't get there until Riley and Kat came out. So how did we start out?
So we started out with Hillbilly Hound Dog and Giant Orion coming out, and they came out with
Raiden.
Oh, sorry, Raiden. Oh my gosh. Okay, yes. Got to separate the masks there. So Hillbilly Hound Dog and Raiden, and then there was these two other guys. I feel badly because I couldn't hear what about Ivan and his vocal origami.
I think they were. From what I heard, they were graduates of the academy. Like that's what where the mystery graphic was. It was saying something about graduates being in this match. But yeah, then there was also another reveal at the end of the match for the last part of the match. But yeah, that's what I was fairly sure of when I was reading something about it. So.
Yeah, well, and just where I was sitting on the stage with the speaker, I actually couldn't hear the names being announced very clearly. So unfortunately, I didn't catch these guys' names. But the one guy that I did notice, he kind of had some gear very inspired by our favorite local Tongans in New Japan, the GOD. Very, very Tama Tonga inspired. I really, really liked it. They did very, very well against Raiden. I almost said Orion again. I wanted to. I held it. They did pretty reasonably well against these guys. They did take a lot of damage, particularly from
Raiden.
No, the other one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Draco, I think is his name.
Yeah.
Draco. That's what I saw written on his pants before he split them. So yeah, it was them starting out. Of course, Draco, I believe, was the one who picked up the win over one of the guys. I think it was the smaller one, the one in the pants, who was very, very crisp with his movements, very, very clean shaven. I actually thought, because of how well dressed these guys were, I actually didn't think they were just recent graduates. I thought these guys actually looked very professional. So, and the way they wrestled was really crisp.
It could be. I thought maybe was reading the wrong thing. Maybe they came out with from Ontario with Jenny Decker. Could have been. I'm not. It could have been that.
It is possible because, like I said, I was in a place where I could not hear the names being announced properly. So unfortunately, that's my boo boo there, you guys. I'm very sorry about that. But after they were eliminated, I believe that was when Kat and Riley came in.
This is when they showed up. Yeah.
Representing Kat Von Heath today. Her lovely shirts. I love this anime character. Yeah, I really, really, really like both Kat and Riley's gear. I feel that it's very, very, very appropriate to them.
I know Riley's gear is just improved show over show. Like every show I've seen her on, she's always had better. Like her gear just keeps getting better. Like it's just always upping the quality of her gear. She always looks really good. This part of the match went like what 2-ish minutes? Because I watched them do their entrance. I had ordered food. So I ran back in to check if my food was ready, and I was getting my food, and then I heard the music of Draco and Raiden saying they had won, and I was like, "What? No!" I was like, "What?" It was like 2 minutes. I was getting my food, and I was like, "What? No!" I was just like, "What?" Yeah.
And you know, our friend Chris Parrish would have just a bit of a heyday with this match because Riley was definitely in this part of the match. She's a tough little cookie, that one. Not to take away anything from her. She is a tough freaking.
Oh, very much so.
But when you're standing across from someone like Raiden, when you're standing across from someone like Draco, these are big boys. And not just tall boys. These are thick boys. These are hard boys. These are boys that are going to knock you out. And they did. She did take a couple pops to the face, both her and Kat. I believe it was Riley who did take the pin on this one, though. I believe it was from Raiden and not Draco on this one.
I'm not sure. And again, I missed the pin because I was getting my chicken strips. So
I was just too excited to see who was coming out next.
And it was the Mutiny.
The Mutiny.
Yeah,
and they didn't take their masks off for a very good long time. I'm impressed they were able to do that.
Yeah, it's the fact you wrestle in a ski mask. You're in the venue's not a big venue. There's a lot of people packed in there. You're wrestling and sweating, so you're going to get hot. The venue is warming up as it goes. Even though it was freezing, flipping cold outside, the venue was warm as heck outside, which was thank Christ.
I appreciate that.
And just the fact you watch these guys wrestle with ski masks on, it's impressive. And it's a regular thing for them because they wear them in their matches. When I've seen they've done some stuff in Mexico and other stuff, they've left their masks on while wrestling, and it's for a cotton ski mask. When it's you're thin, lucha mask, that's one thing. But when it's like a cotton or whatever fabric ski mask, no, that's like that can really make you sweat, man. So I'm a big fan of I've been a fan of Giant Orion for so long, since his days in Monster Pro. Actually, I think I watched him back when he was in King of the Cage in fight. It was when he was fighting MMA. I remember watching a couple of his fights way back then. And
his moveset makes sense now. Okay.
Ex-MMA fighter, yeah. But yeah, and Lil Blay is a fun. Like he's fun. Like can get a little sloppy at times with some of his moves. Like he can miss here and there, and tends to. Even I talked to him after he said he literally slipped up on a couple that I noticed, but not major ones. I'll say that.
I mean, these two I felt worked very, very, very well and cohesively, especially in their tag team moves against, I'm going to say it right, Melball, Raiden and Draco. I felt that they pulled off some really, really effective moves against them, subsequently eliminating Draco, I believe it was. And that was when I noticed he split his pants, and I had a good chuckle at that. But then we had the surprise, I guess, team of the night, I think. You want to take it? Go for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Rads, baby. Lumberjack Larry, Rich King, the former RCW Tag Team Champions. I think they're the Can-Am Tag Team Champions. They have, like, multiple titles going on right now. And, man, when their music hit, I was so happy. I love the Rads. It's all about the Rads, baby. But they came out and got their asses kicked. To say anything really less is, I think they got a little bit in, but they got beat up and they lost to the Mutiny, and the Mutiny won the gauntlet match. But like, I will say this: I think both those guys are absolutely amazing. But Larry, especially here in the Top Talent, I don't think he's been, like, every time he's shown up, he's kind of been the butt of the jokes.
Yeah.
Because wasn't it last show he got beat up by the entire graduating class of the Top Talent Wrestling Academy? Or was that 2 shows ago? I can't remember which one. I remember that's the one I was drunk at or not, but yeah.
I think it was the last one, because that was when Dark Sheik was there.
Yeah, and he got his ass kicked by the entire. So, like, it didn't surprise me to see these guys get beat within a couple of minutes and get beat the way they did. They didn't look, they're not looking bad. They got some stuff in, but the Mutiny again looking very strong here, getting the win, and big plus. Like, this is a team I think you really want to push here. They can be a great dominant team for this company.
Mm-hmm. Very over with the crowd, too. The crowd very much likes these guys.
Oh, very much so. Very much so. But I think the next match, I can't remember the order right now. My brain is flippity-floppity. I'm pretty sure it was this one.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it was Channing Decker versus Nate Nixon. I'd say the most over man in Top Talent Wrestling, I would say.
I would say in Edmonton.
At least like Nate's got this crowd loves this guy, man. Mm-hmm. Like they love this guy, and this was a hardcore match. Weapons, everything. There was a door. They broke a door. Shout out to the NVR from years back when they were putting people through doors. I absolutely loved it. Like, I can't say where these guys used to get their doors back in the day. I might get in trouble, but yeah. Again, I was just over the moon with this match. Like, again, I didn't know who Channing Decker was coming into this. The only thing I knew was that he was coming out of Greektown Wrestling, which I've heard of because I am a fan of Jimmy Corderas, and he has worked with Greektown Wrestling in the past, and then I know Live Audio Wrestling / Sunday Night's Main Event have talked about them promoting shows in the Toronto area. So this guy was actually quite fun. I think we was us talking about him before. We were like, is he a ninja? What was going on? Because of the headband. Yeah, but I really enjoyed it. Just great brawling action. They brawled everywhere. The door spot, like just weapons galore. Was it the trash can on the head? Like it's just essentially your hardcore match staples, in my opinion.
100%. Had to film our intro again. Cody, Eric, and myself were just jamming out to Nasty Nate's music. On my YouTube review, like my YouTube music review of like my most listened to track, Nasty Nate's music, Everywhere We Go, it's my number one. It's my number one listened to song of the year.
In 2021, it was my number one played song on Spotify. In 2022, it was like my number 4 played song on Spotify. Like that song is an absolute banger. It's because of Nate that I started listening to it. That song is utter perfection, and like again, we can't play it on here. I would absolutely play that song if we could, but just to celebrate Nate as he is. But dude, like, and then Nate winning this match with his nasty DDT. I'm not exactly sure what it is. It's the forward fall impaler DDT. It's the forward fall impaler DDT. But yeah, great match overall from both these guys, and I was quite impressed with Shannon Decker. Like again, a guy I'd never seen before. I had no idea who this dude was. We were literally confused on who he was last time we talked talent. And yeah, I very much enjoyed both these guys. Nate, I think, just delivering as always, and Shannon Decker, really, really good to watch a new face.
Absolutely. I felt these guys had some really great chemistry. They worked very, very well together and flowed very organically together. I really enjoyed this match.
Yeah, very much so. So we move on to the next match, and it was a 5-man scramble match. And it was the Real Talk Dean Richter. Can't remember the tagline for Dalton Rogue now.
It's a gangster thing. The top.
The top gangster. The top gangster. Dalton Rogue. You have probably my favorite new wrestler of 2022 in white shirt. I loved it. White shirt William Taylor. I love him. I legit have a white shirt here, and I forgot to bring it with me yesterday. I don't know. I'm an idiot. But again, and then you had the debut of Top Talent Wrestling Academy graduate Alex Rain, Alixra. I guess rain as in the raindrops. But yeah. But when Ivan did the intro, all I heard was Ray. I'm like, his name's Ray? I'm like, what? And then I looked and turned to look at the title screen, and it said Alex Rain on it. I'm like, oh, okay. And then my favorite person in this match, the ultraviolet Mitch Clark. Again, rad. He's rad. Very, very rad. But yeah, this was a crazy match. Like, people going everywhere. And just, yeah, it was chaotic. There was a spot, and I wish it would have went off well. Dalton did like a springboard, like hopped up on the one, hopped on the other, and went to like Rana Dean off of the apron to the floor. But he almost, like, when he landed on Dean, he almost started sliding directly at the ground. And to break kayfabe, Dean literally just grabbed the guy and like pulled him, like, so he wouldn't literally just fall right on his head and break his neck. Like, he was looking to just fall and crash. And yeah, that I was like, if he would have pulled that off, that spot would have been absolutely insane. But it's when he landed on Dean, he kind of slid, and it was just like, oh, I felt so bad for him, because like that was I think that was like his huge spot for the night. Like, of that, it was supposed to be, like, I think the big moment, and it was just, like, I felt so bad for the kid. Like, oh. But, yeah, white shirt in there.
Slippery tracks.
What? Yeah. White shirt in there, just running knees in everybody's faces. Alex actually, again, like I wouldn't say like absolutely phenomenal or anything, but for a guy who's just graduated the academy, I think he held his own in there with these guys. Like had a really good match.
But you have to talk about Mitch, because holy heckin' crap, that guy's timing and ability is just...
Dude, again, this is another guy who's come from the world of mixed martial arts. Like, so he has a very mat-based, ground-based side. We watched an amazing match with him and Charlie Haas last month. But he did the springboard moonsaults out of the corner on this show. And like, dude, like he got the fireman's carry and just kept. Was it on Alex or I can't remember who he had on his shoulder, but he kept just doing the fireman's carry rolls and just rolling them, and then ends up getting the win. Dude, this dude. Oh, his white shirt, yeah, dude. Mitch is just like. Every time I watch this guy, I'm just more and more impressed. And again, this is a guy, who I've been watching since his MMA days when he was fighting in the UFC. I watched him there. So when he got into the local independent scene and Monster Pro, I was elated. And then when he came over to RCW and I got to see him even more and working now with Top Talent and Love Pro Wrestling, like I think he's understandably like probably one of the top guys out there this year. Like he's just had a rise this year.
100%.
You got anything else on it? Or did I go for everything?
You can go to the next one.
Alrighty then. Now this is what I thought was going to be main event of the evening.
It definitely was a match worthy of it. That's for dang
sure. Oh, yeah, I'll let you talk a bit on this before I get into it.
Well, this was the Impact champion, Josh Alexander, taking on Harlan Abbott, for the Impact championship, as it was announced. I didn't realize that I was going to be for that championship. This was a fun match. I mean, Harlan Abbott is just come out of nowhere as this interesting style of lucha kind of undertones that suddenly are popping up in his moveset as of the last couple of years. His work is really coming out in really good workers like Josh Alexander. Josh Alexander, very impassioned, and the crowd was giving him nothing. He had to really work to yell at us to get us to do something. I
was cheering my full head off for Josh, man. Like, in the back, just like, yeah! Dude, I love this guy.
This was a great, fantastic match. Harlan Abbott has that little, what's that springboard thing he always does? He catches off in the corner.
Oh, the 450? Where he springs to the 450 spot?
Sure. Yeah, that was great.
Oh, where he hops up on the second, then does like a rotation into a senton?
Correct.
It's almost like an inverted 450, but doesn't completely go through, and he hits like a senton off the corner. Yeah.
Yeah,
dude,
that's great.
Like, was it? I think it was late 2020, early 2021, like during the pandemic, when RCW like came back like from to start running shows. I think it was probably in like 2021. I remember going in and ring announcing the first couple there with them, and dude, like when the change that I saw in Harlan, it was absolutely just phenomenal. Like he took the pain. Like, Harlan was always a great professional wrestler, but when he took that pandemic to really turn himself into this, like, into something like truly special, in my opinion, and like his like 2021 and 2022 for Harlan Abbott have just been absolutely off the walls great years. And then you have, like, this isn't the first time I've seen Harlan and Josh go at it, because they wrestled, was it, I think, last year in RCW, and this blew it out of the water, in my opinion. Like, this match was absolutely just insane. And that, like, Josh, like just the athleticism that dude has. Like he hit the ropes and ran and like turned and cross bodied through the bottom two ropes. It went cross body style, not diving through, cross body through the bottom two ropes onto Harlan on the outside. Like just the variations on the dives he does, like just his technical skill in there is. I don't think there's many better technically in professional wrestling today than Josh Alexander.
Zack Sabre Jr. might argue that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What am I doing? I'm okay. This is the number 2 technical wrestler in the world is Josh Alexander behind Sabre, but I literally need to say that because we're going to talk about him later on this show. But it's
saving you.
Both these guys put together just an incredible match. Like, and Harlan hit the 450 in this match, which has put away every opponent so far in Top Talent Pro Wrestling, and he did not pick up the win. Where Josh Alexander came in and hit a power bomb and then the C4 spike to get the win. And boy howdy, man, like that was just an incredible match.
Absolutely. This was a great one. I really, really enjoyed this one. The celebration Josh Alexander had afterwards was just great. You see the crowd. Some of them were very much Harlan fans, not very happy with it. But, you know, me and Cody and Eric just sitting there like, woo.
Me, Mike, and Kat in the back just like, yeah, because you guys are sitting on stage. We're out in the standing crowd. We're just in the back like, yeah, because it was a great match, man. Like, it was so good.
100%.
Yeah, and then we move on to what was supposed to be the main event of the evening, but things got messed up, and we went into the match for the Top Talent Championship. The defending champion, Ava Lawless, taking on their toughest challenger to date, Mash Slamovich, man. Holy crap. I've been watching Mash on Impact for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She was really incredible. I wish I remembered to have the picture within reach of me. Eric actually got me an autographed picture from Masha, which was pretty freaking cool. Yeah, this one, did you get the same vibe that I almost kind of got with her intro jacket? It was it was giving me Meltier vibes with the tool kind of coming off the back.
With hammer and sickles on it, all over it.
I mean, you know, there's something to be said for your own personal taste of flair. Not everyone.
But the pink skirt thing that she had on her, but yeah, very Meltier in the way she came on. And then she pulled it off like they do. But yeah, she came out because we're sitting there and Ivan announces it's going to be the Santa versus Grinch tables match. So we're all waiting there, and all of a sudden, Masha's video comes up, and it shows the Kremlin, and then it starts showing a Russian flag, and I'm like, is the Grinch Russian?
I felt the exact same thing. I was like, we are taking a political stance here. Holy heck.
So yeah, and they come out, and they proceed to have a really. I thought both these women did really, really well in there. Masha, I know what to expect out of her because I've seen her on TV, just so crisp, so good. Ava stepping up to the plate and really taking the beating right back to Masha. But I have a qualm with this match, though, and that's the referee. Mr. Avon Fox, who, I know this man very well. I've worked with him for years. When I was ring announcing with RCW, Mr. Avon Fox, who is usually a very good professional referee, at the end of this match, Masha hit a move, put Ava down, and she pinned her, and the ref counted 1, counted 2. And then he stopped counting. I was very confused.
Yeah, I think the whole room was at that point.
And it like the crowd was into it. Like I wouldn't say like they were like crazy into it, but they were into it. And it literally silenced the room. Mm-hmm. And then Masha hit a move and pinned her and won the title. But the crowd, it was like a dead reaction on her winning the title then, because I think like if she had beat Ava on that initial pin, or because I don't know if like maybe Ava was supposed to kick out on that spot. I don't know, but any referee, you need to just count your 3. If they don't kick out, that's on the wrestler. Like, yes, I understand kind of 1, 2, and then giving that extra little bit before you count 3. It gives them that little extra. But you need to come down, hit the 3, whether it's supposed to be there or not. Like,
we had this discussion about the Stardom referees doing the exact same thing and hovering that 3rd thing and making it takes away from the realism of the show, because even though we do know wrestling is predetermined, the job of the wrestler is to create an environment and show where it doesn't feel like it, whether we know it or not. It's like a television show. Do you honestly expect me to believe that The Witcher frickin' exists? Nay, no, not in this dimension, no. So like it's an act that they're supposed to do. So yeah, you're absolutely right. The ref stopping it killed the crowd because it killed the story.
Yeah, and I feel really bad for Masha and Ava both, because Masha gets the win and she gets the title, starts celebrating, and everybody's just like, there's some people like me and a few others who were familiar with it were like, yeah, we were cheering. Like, there's like there was a few that were booing, but a lot of the crowd was just like, oh, okay. And it was just, and then she got the mic and said nobody can stand up to her and stuff. But like, it was a really good match. And I don't want to shit completely, like, just rag on Avon, because I've watched this guy referee for years. I have never seen him make a blunder like that. And the last time I saw it was me personally see a ref do that in local scene was 6-7 years ago. And the ref that did it was kind of an idiot. So, and his name was not Ian Smalls. So, but
don't make any assumption on the name.
But yeah, I don't want to be mean to Avon. It's just he kind of killed the momentum of the match. It killed it for me. Like, I just knew, after the match, I was like, I'm going to cheer. I'm going to do something, because it's like, again, from a person who has worked within the wrestling industry, it worked as a ring announcer, I know what applause and booing means to a person. So if the crowd's not doing it, you want to try, as a person that's been within it, you want to try help and engage that. But it was such a weird ending to it. It was just.
It was very odd, yes. And like you said, the match itself was great. It's just once that blunder happened, it was like we were going up, and that happened, and we just went whoop.
Yeah, right off a cliff.
It was like Emperor's New Groove. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense, you know? Pulled down the thing and they disappeared, but they made it back to the palace before him. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense, but it worked.
Okay. I just never thought. That's not the movie I thought you were bringing up in this situation.
Oh my God, what did you picture?
No, it's just not something I would never think of Emperor's New Groove. All right.
We know what you're watching over Christmas, my friend.
Definitely not that. Die Hard, definitely Die Hard. But we move on to the main event of the evening, and it is the Santa Claus against the Grinch. Although I would like the Grinch came out too. I think it was actually the new version of the Grinch song that was from like the recent like computer animated Grinch movie that came out a year or two ago from Illumination. That was the music that came out too. Because they didn't come out to the classic "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch" song.
I was gonna say, I felt like doing a nay and like dapping and stuff to them.
But then Mr. Jesse Claus comes out to "Oh Come All Ye Faithful." That's where I was confused. Because are they insinuating that Santa's Jesus? Because he definitely isn't.
There's the Santa.
That song is literally about Jesus.
I mean, it's the season, right? Tomato. Both of them look like tomatoes.
There's hundreds and hundreds of there's got to be at least 100 songs about Santa that are like aren't going to get you penalized if you're going to put the music on YouTube. There's got to be like it's just,
what I want to appreciate about this was how much the Grinch stayed in character.
Well, I don't. Come on, so the two participants playing Santa and Grinch were T.Y. Jackson and Big Jesse Youngblood. I don't think there was much of a stretch for T.Y. Jackson because he's kind of an ass. He's an ass. He really is. Like, yes, he is rad. Don't get me wrong. He is rad, 100%. But out of all the rads, he is the biggest ass of them all. So I'm not surprised that he was such a great character for the Grinch. But committing to wearing the suit that he wore on top of putting a Santa jacket on top of it, well, and then he painted his entire face green too on top of it all.
Yeah. Could have done for a belt in the pants though. They were certainly falling down. I saw more Joe Boxer than I saw of much else. I digress though. This match was a lot of fun. I definitely have always enjoyed Jesse Youngblood's in-ring performability. I always felt that he was a very, very good entertainer on top of being a really good wrestler. So I felt that this match worked very, very well for him. But also T.Y., as you said, did very, very good as the group.
Oh, yeah.
They played off of each other like super duper duper well. The interaction with the crowd that both of them had was just incredible. These guys have a lot of talent in what it is that they can do to engage the crowd and get the crowd following them. So, I really had a lot of fun with this. The presents were fun. There was wreaths everywhere. There was a freaking gift-wrapped table. Chaos galore.
So this was a tables match. So
it was.
So, but I say about close to the end of the match, the Rads came out and they brought out a giant present. I think they brought the big present out, right?
It was shuffling.
It out. And then they entered the ring to attack Santa, or Jesse Claus, and he put them down. He put the Rads down. But that's when the present exploded. And it was a big old man named Azrael.
Big, fit, angry man.
And he proceeded to kick the shit out of his former tag team partner, Big Jesse Youngblood, aka Santa Claus, and slammed him on the rampway, choke slammed him in the ring, yeah, and then Grinch is like throughout the match was trying to pin Santa for some weird ass reason. And I think after this, he tried pinning him, this is when he picked him up and he was going to try and run him through the table. And this is where Santa got the reversal, picked up the Grinch, and just ran him straight into that table. It exploded. Grinch went everywhere,
There was stuff everywhere after that one, yeah.
The Grinch's spine broke in 3 places that day.
His heart did not grow 3 sizes at all.
No. But they literally did a great spot where he pulled a heart out. He pulled a heart out of his coat. And he's like, 3 sizes, it's growing 3 sizes. And then when Jesse went to shake his hand, he smacked him in the face. It was great. It was a great comedy way to end the night. And Santa Claus gave the big ho, ho, ho at the end and sent us all home happy. And they announced the next show is February 9th.
Sent us home happy. He sent us out into minus 30 freaking 5 to run to our cars that have been frozen into icicles over the last couple hours of sitting in the parking lot.
I went home happy, so I'm okay with it.
I was also frozen by the time I made it to your car.
Yeah, we had to go all the way across the parking lot.
No.
Ah, crap, my headphones are still in my car.
Well, there's your reminder.
The headphones Mike gave me yesterday are in my car. They'll be fine. I sat in his car all day, so they'll be fine. But yeah, so that was the Top Talent Wrestling show from December 22nd at Midway YEG. Want to thank Top Talent for putting on an absolutely wonderful show. I had such a fun time at this show, as I always have in every show I've been to. But we are going to actually talk a little bit more. We're going to talk a little bit of New Japan Pro Wrestling. I know that's usually reserved for NJP Pro Wrestling Review, but there was a big happening on this week, this week, and it was the fact that the Royal Tokyo Dome shows on December 22nd and 23rd, featuring the final matches together of the Team Suzuki-Gun. And again, for me, hurts my heart because since Suzuki-Gun came back to Noah 5 years ago, about 5.5 years ago, I liked them when they were in Noah. I watched a bit of them there, but I really became a fan of this team when they were over here, or when they moved over to New Japan. And dude, this just broke my heart, man. The whole emotion. There was a giant emotion to all this. So on the December 22nd show, we're going to highlight one of the matches that Suzuki-Gun was a part of, and it was Dangerous Tekkers versus Ren Narita and Jado. This is technically the final time as part of Suzuki-Gun that Sabre and Taichi are going to team together in a straight tag team match. So I'm just a big fan of Dangerous Tekkers. That's why I wanted to highlight this. I thought really fun match. It was a lot of Sabre and Narita kind of previewing what we're getting on January 4th. I am so excited for that. Jado doing all the similar stuff with Taichi. So much fun. But in the end, Taichi did pin Jado after the Yokozuna elbow, and the embrace of Sabre and Taichi after the match. You can just feel these two are like brothers. This entire group, they're a family, and you could see that these two it was emotional for both of them. And this is a lot. Again, do I see them continuing as a tag team down the road? Very much so. I don't think either one is going to abandon each other, but this is their final time tagging together under the Suzuki-Gun banner, just as the two of them. And I think that's a big moment for them. And them hugging, just that I'm not crying, you're crying.
Not anymore. I did enjoy the kind of showcasing, almost as we will say, like a preview of Ren Narita and Zack Sabre Jr. Getting in the ring there. There was a point where they were feeding each other kicks and just ended up knocking each other out before the finish of the match. I've really, really enjoyed that whole spot. Just seeing their tension starting to come in. I was like, I know neither one of them are going to be a part of the finish. Just because they don't want to, give us he's got to win over him. He's got to win over him.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. There was a fun match, but as you said, it was very obvious the emotion and the emotional impact that match had on them afterwards, for sure.
I just wanted to change the background. To the New Japan Pro Wrestling field, just while we're talking some New Japan,
For sure.
But yeah, I just you got to give it up to the emotion of this match and seeing these guys team together as their Dangerous Tekkers within Suzuki-Gun for the last time, and it's just yeah. But the match, the big match, we got to talk about. Mm-hmm. It's the final match. It's Suzuki-Gun versus Suzuki-Gun. 30-minute time limit. Zack Sabre Jr., Taichi, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, and Doki taking on Minoru Suzuki, Lance Archer, El Desperado, and Taka Michinoku. I love the fact that they brought Taka back. Again, he hasn't been present in New Japan the last while. So and he was a big part of that team for the longest time. Gave Sabre the Zack driver. Was literally Sabre's hype man for years. Mm-hmm. So not having him here would be a tragedy. And I think the biggest piece missing out of all this was I was kind of hoping we get to see Ishita. I was. Yeah, but I was hoping he would come. He'd be at ringside.
In the ring, yes.
Yeah, not wrestling. Again, he is retired. But I was kind of hoping he would have come out during the entrances with the guys, because every member of Suzuki-Gun got their own entrance, and I know there's been many other members of Suzuki-Gun over the years, from the time before in the early days in New Japan and their time in Noah. There was a lot of other members, but he you know what I mean. He means something, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And I loved them all getting their entrances. The one that bothered me was Dude's name is Wabe. She's kind of an honorary member of the team, isn't she? Because she's been his manager forever.
I mean, I assume so, but I assume that, maybe she had some modeling to do somewhere.
Could be. Archer murdering young boys, as he always says, just smashing them, and then goes after Milano.
She's gone.
Just always. I feel bad for him, man. You can hear him on the mic going, like getting like, and he goes, Sasha! Like he literally yells his name to like try and appease him, but it was just, love it. And then
there's no appeasing the murder mohawk.
No, but what I think hurt me almost was the fact that this is a non-sharing crowd.
So no Kaze ni Nare.
When they was just a Kaze ni Nare of the song, I was just like, I was hoping the crowd would say "fuck it" and chant it, but they didn't. But it was still like bittersweet moment, man. Like, yeah. But you have anything just from the entrances part of it all?
No, they were. It was one of those bittersweet things where I'm just like,
yeah, you're just inside. I'm just like tearing as I'm watching this match, and I'm like, keep it together. You're in the lunchroom at work. Keep it together. You're in the lunchroom at work. And I ended up rewatching it this evening just so I can take notes on the match, but it could go a little quicker, a little easier, right? Because I knew what's coming. Taichi, Minoru, Suzuki kicked off the match again, like it should be. Those two are bonded at this point, like. Yeah, and to see them just go off, start it off, and get into just a crazy chop battle, like just cracking the crap out of each other's chests, like Minoru's are hard, but I was literally seeing Minoru Suzuki's chest just ripple every time Taichi just chopped him. I was like, holy crap, he's got crazy chops.
As we like to say during Nasty Nate's matches, tender as them titties.
Then we got Taka and Doki in the ring at one point. Taka being able to get out of the Doki Choki twice just shows how ineffective Doki Choki really is.
Not even a little. You can talk to Lil Blay about how effective the Doki Choki is, because he lost to it in Calgary.
Twice.
Doesn't mean that it's ineffective. It just means Taka's smarter.
Twice.
It just means Taka's smarter. And what else did Doki pull off?
That we'll get to the Daybreaker later. We'll get to that spot. Sabre going toe to toe with Archer was just a dumb move, because Archer just beat the crap out of him the whole time. Even when he got him into the arm triangle choke, Archer still managed to just grab him by the throat and squeeze to break the hold. Like, it was just funny watching Sabre try to wrestle the massive size that is Lance Archer.
Yes, it was. Very much so.
Yeah.
And also, when Desperado and Kanemaru got into
the ring, sorry, I skipped that part.
Very fun exchange. Obviously, the partners, they tagged for a very, very long time. Who knows each other better than your tag partner, right? Kanemaru, though, outsmarting Desperado, catching him, making him slam his own face into the ground and catching him in a headlock was super smart on the Killmasters.
And then we got Sabre kind of chopping it up and wrestling with Minoru. Because Minoru came in and started stomping Sabre. And this is where Sabre almost caught him in a knee bar. But Minoru got out, and Sabre almost kind of looked relieved that he didn't get the knee bar in a sense, because he was like, he would have beat me up even harder if I had really applied that. He was just look on his face and was like, oh, God. But yeah. every time Sabre tried to apply a hold to Minoru Suzuki had the way to get out.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is like it's master student, right? Like it was very much. That's the way I felt watching these two go back and forth. Sabre trying to apply an abdominal, Minoru reverses it, trying to apply it. It was really cool to see the transitions that Minoru has a way to solve Sabre every time. I really, really liked that. Even him, when Sabre got the Euro clutch on, and he turned it into the rear naked choke, I really, really liked that. So, Minoru's about to hit Sabre with the Gotch pile driver. This is where Taichi comes in, hits a clothesline to Suzuki, then hits the axe bomber onto him. And then in comes Kanemaru with a boot to the face of Taichi. A boot to the face. That was Taka with the boot to the face of Taichi. Yeah. And then in comes Kanemaru in comes Archer with a just literally smashing. I can't remember what it was, but then Kanemaru comes in and whiskeys Archer in the face. I was just like, that's how you take the giant down. You whiskey him in the face, and then drop kicks him out. And then El Desperado hitting a backdrop driver onto Yoshinobu Kanemaru. And then in comes Doki with the Daybreaker. I got it right this time. But, dude, that DDT is awesome. Like, absolutely awesome. Now this is where Sabre comes in with a big boot to Doki, or Taka hit it, and then Zack tries to Zack driver Taka. Mm-hmm. He tried to Zack driver Taka, and no avail. Taka was not getting hit with his own move. With the move he's not getting the move is named after him technically, the Michinoku driver. He was not getting hit with that. And so Sabre ends up putting him over and doing that where he cuts the head and then twists with it. The neck twist, dude. It's a great sequence of everybody hitting their moves. I really, really did like that.
Very, very organic.
Yeah, and then this is where Suzuki started to just start fighting with everybody in the ring, including his teammates that are on his side in the match. Right, like he just got in their faces, and it was just like everybody's just circling him and starts hitting moves on him, and it was nuts. Like Archer smashed him down. Despy, he just started like hitting him, and then Suzuki screaming at Taichi to hit him, but he won't. So this is where Taichi goes to the corner, and here's the tribute to Ishika, pulls out the Iron Fingers, and he turns to hit him, and the ref gets in the way. And this is Minoru Suzuki takes the ref and just tosses him and goes, "Come on!" And he cracks it with the Iron Fingers. Sabre picks up Minoru Suzuki, hits him with the Zack driver, aka the Michinoku driver, gets the win. I think the way this ended, I think is a hint to that. I think Sabre will create something in the new year with some of these guys. Like I can see Archer being part of the team, just maybe not as a regular member. Like comes over and teams will win. North American affiliate. I can see him still teaming with him, but I swear we're going to get some kind of Sabre-Gun or something to that point, or maybe it's Taichi Sabre-Gun, maybe something like that. Like, because I can see Taichi and Sabre both being kind of leaders for whatever team comes forward. Everybody speaks. I didn't understand what most of them. Let's go. Okay, I want to let you talk the match before we get to the post match.
No, you covered everything that I pretty much noted. So
I took detailed notes.
I knew how much you love Suzuki-Gun, and I wanted to give you the opportunity to talk the most about it because it is something that you are very passionate about. And I like to hear you talk about the things that you're passionate about, my friend.
Thank you. So we'll get into the post match then. I don't know what most of the guys said because I didn't know. I know very few phrases in Japanese right now. I am just starting to learn. Archer gets the mic at one point. He he's been wrestling for 22 years. Half his career, the last 11 years, he has been with Suzuki-Gun. That's the first run in New Japan. He was with them in Noah, and still came back with them to New Japan. He says it was an honor to wrestle in Japan, but it's a bigger honor to share the ring with you. You will always be my brother forever. I like.
You're crying.
Yes, that's exactly. I'm going to cry just from rereading that. And then Sabre says 7 years ago, they Suzuki-Gun came to Pro Wrestling Noah, where Sabre was working at the time. And then he said 18 months later, you asked me to come with you, to be part of Suzuki-Gun, and come back to New Japan, and he came with them, and he thanks it, and then I know because he said konnichiwa or something, I can't remember, but I know he thanked him in Japanese, and again made me want to cry. And then Taichi got the mic last, and he spoke again, not sure, but I guarantee you he was thanking Suzuki for everything. I guarantee it.
Very, very emotional send off. The guys were able to mostly hold it together, but you could see the emotion on their face, and the sadness, and the almost acceptance that this is kind of coming to the end. But this is not the end for any of these guys by any means. I mean, Taka's still just tapped out. We've seen Tomaka Inaba, their women's champion, wrestling with God's Eye and Stardom, doing very, very well. I look forward to seeing Lance Archer more in North America. I would certainly, as I said, love to see him as a North American affiliate for something in Japan.
Very much so.
Very much so. Just because he does help with the language barrier a little bit. I think that's what it does kind of off-put some of the North American fans. Not that there's a problem with it. It's just they want to understand what's going on, I think. And I think he would be a very good person to translate that for them. Very
much so. And it is like I can't see these guys not affiliating in some way. Because like Despy and Kanemaru, they will always be tied together. They will always I'm pretty sure Despy's into a singles run for probably the next couple of years. I don't see him entering the tag ring. And that's where I think you establish Kanemaru and Doki. I think they'll be a team together for a long time. I think they're going to continue to team together. Sabre and Taichi. There's no way that team is not continuing as a tag team. That's why I think that something will come from this in 2023. I think we will get something. We'll get a Sabre gun, a Taichi Sabre gun, or whatever the name will be. We're going to get something. And that Tekker gun, whatever you want to call it, like it's going to be something that I can't. Yes, Minoru Suzuki has made his exit. Simple. And I think him giving it to Sabre, I think would have been perfectly fine to me. Like said, it's yours now, Sabre gun, it's all yours. Or giving it to Taichi, it's Taichi gun, it's all yours. You know what I mean? But I think this is almost more appropriate for him to kill it and say, go do your own thing. If you want to create something. I think that makes so much more sense.
I agree. I 100% agree, and I do hope that it happens. What I'm also hoping for is that we maybe get a few more of these guys performing over here in North America, maybe for Strong, maybe in indie stuff. You know, I would love
top talent pro wrestling.
I mean, Clark Connors is looking for bookings in North America, so
Alex Zane.
I would love to see Alex Zane. I would brave the cold to see Alex Zane.
Give us the sauce, baby. But yeah, I again that team again really, and like, because when I was coming back into when I really got into watching New Japan was like I started watching right around the time they left, but I was a casual viewer at the time, and I got really a lot more like really into it just before they came back. And when they came back, they came in like wrecking balls. Suzuki coming in there and just going to war with Tanahashi over the Never title at the time. That's where I was really like, give me Suzuki-Gun, give me more. And again, that's what introduced me to Zack Sabre Jr., who was legitimately one of my top favorite wrestlers of all time. And I just, so good. So good. Yeah, I'm gonna switch back to background, back to Chop Talk, because this is Chop Talk, baby. But yeah, that's Suzuki-Gun in a nutshell.
What an emotional show that was, man. Well, again, one of those I'm not crying, you're crying kind of moments. That being said, I think this is bringing us to the end of this episode of Chop Talk, my friends. We should probably talk about our incredible sponsor down here, Rogue Energy. Do you want to take over talking about that, my friend?
Yep. Rogue Energy, scan the QR code. It takes you to rogueenergy.com. If you use the promo code OLEPODS, you get 10% off your order. And I want to thank our good friends at Rogue Energy for all the incredible stuff they have. Again, I don't have my bottle for the second show in a row. Why the hell don't I have my stuff? You don't have yours either, so shush. Yeah, or you can order. They have the shakers. You can get sample cups, and it brings you 6-7 samples. You can choose the flavors you want. If you're in the United States, you can get the cans. Absolutely phenomenal. Love them. We're going to be back on January 4th to watch the Wrestle Kingdom show. We are going to be fueled by Rogue Energy that night because we're going to need it.
Starting at 3 a.m. Starting at 3 a.m.
No. The main card starts at 3 a.m. Eastern.
I know.
Pre-show at 2 a.m. Eastern.
Yes.
Yeah.
To have fun trying to set up Twitch for that one.
I'm going to make sure it's all solved the day before, trust me. But yeah.
Sure.
And we also
watch that on.
Oh, pause. That Mel's taking a point at. You can check it on their Twitch at Our Local Establishment, twitch.tv/Our Local Establishment, or you can check them out on Instagram at OLE Podcasts. And then I want to give a big thank you to our good friend Mike the Ref over at Backbreaker Media for being a great partner to us, simulcasting all of our stuff. You can check him out on Twitch multiple days a week, every Wednesday, watching Dynamite at twitch.tv/Mike the Ref. And then you can check on YouTube at Backbreaker Video. You may be watching us right now on Backbreaker Video, where if you can, please go over to Andre Melball Wrestling Talk on YouTube and give us a like, give us a subscribe. We would very, very much appreciate it. You can also check us out on Facebook at Andre Melball Wrestling Talk.
Come be a part of the conversation. We'll give Andre a chance to take a breath there and say if you wanted to watch New Japan, we will leave a link in the description box below. It is 920 yen or $10 Canadian, maybe less for you guys in the US, because your dollar likes you a lot more than our dollar apparently likes us.
And I want to give a big shout out to Top Talent Wrestling Academy on Facebook because we watched an incredible show from them and got to see some great graduates. So check them out if you're actually interested in getting into professional wrestling. Top Talent Wrestling Academy is a great place to go. Great trainers, great environment, and Top Talent Wrestling Company, February 9th. Midway YEG, come hang out with us. I'm planning to be there. I think Mel will be there. So come on, come hang out. Watch some professional wrestling. I'll be there for sure.
They'll have to work for me a little bit to get me down there. We'll also leave a link for you for the Top Talent Wrestling Academy website, Facebook page, and a place to purchase tickets for their next show in the description box down below. So, Andre, if we're wanting to follow you on social media, where are we going to find you?
On Twitter at That Canada Guy, Instagram at That Canada Dude. I'm on Mastodon, and I can't remember the other one. It's another one of the new ones, but Hive. I'm on Mastodon, Hive at That Canada Guy, so you can find me on there at both those. I haven't really started posting on there yet. I'm just waiting for the day that Twitter implodes because at least I'll have them ready to go. And also on Facebook, you can find me on Facebook at Andre Melball Wrestling Talks Facebook page.
And you are also on playing around with the OLE TikTok a little bit recently. haven't you?
I was messing with it, but I'm like, I'm gonna stay away from that. But yeah, also next month, you'll be able to see me on OLE. I know we're doing our live stream on January 4th, but I will actually be coming. Will be myself and OLED. We'll be doing our big 2023 preview show for Marvel Talk, where we're going to go over what's all scheduled with at least scheduled right now for 2023. What we're going to be covering. And yeah, give you a nice little preview from Marvel Talk, which will regularly be coming back in February. So yeah,
Perfection. And if you're wanting to follow a Melball on social media, you can follow me on Twitter at Collins Melball. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Melball Collins, and you can catch me on the amazing Astrid's show, Ladies Wrestling Showcase, that comes out every 2 weeks, so bi-weekly. Last week, we actually sounded off on some of the controversies happening in professional wrestling in regards to the ladies. We talked about Sasha Banks potentially being at Wrestle Kingdom. We talked about Mandy Rose and the somewhat interesting and potentially controversial reasons that she was let go. So you want to head over to Astra Pizarro on YouTube to check that out. And also next Friday, the 30th, this Melball is going to be attending a fun little end of the year party. We'll be making a announcement for that. You don't want to miss out on all the fun wrestling talk and personalities that are going to be showing up for that one.
perfect.
So, if you don't have anything else to add,
I'm good.
That is your Andre. We will catch you next time. Adios.